Exhausted? Overwhelmed? Can't be bothered parenting today? It's okay. Learn how to parent in these moments to have grace and compassion for yourself. Are you struggling to show up as a parent when you're burnt out? You're not alone. Learn how to handle these days and these moments with grace and how good enough parenting is good enough. What if your child doesn't need you to be perfect, just present? Have you ever thought about that?
Welcome to the I Am Education podcast, where we explore transformative ideas for parents, educators, and anyone passionate about shaping the future of education and humanity. Join us as we dive into the latest insights, practical tools, and inspiring conversations that empower both children and adults to thrive. Let's unlock the potential of education together. I Am Education, for the love of learning.
Welcome to the I Am Education podcast, where we explore the ups, the downs, and everyday challenges of parenting. I'm your host, Rebecca Grugan, and today we're diving into a topic that every parent faces but might feel hesitant to admit. Those days when you just can't be bothered. Maybe you're exhausted, overwhelmed, or simply burnt out, and the idea of parenting feels like it's just too much to handle. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And parenting is a constant journey, and sometimes it's tough to show up with patience and energy, especially when you're running low on both. So today we'll be exploring practical strategies, mindset shifts, and self-compassion tips to help you parent effectively on those days when you'd rather not. So let's start by acknowledging the feelings without guilt. It is important to recognize that it's completely normal to feel drained or even apathetic sometimes. Parenting is a 24/7 job, and there will be days when the enthusiasm just isn't there. Rather than judging yourself or feeling guilty, it's okay to accept that some days are harder than others. Many parents experience guilt on those off days, feeling like they're failing or letting their children down. But the truth is, allowing yourself to be human, and sometimes less than 100%, it can actually be a healthy example for your child. You are teaching them that emotions ebb and flow, and that it's okay to feel tired or overwhelmed. So just imagine for a moment a parent named Alex, who's had a long week at work and is feeling exhausted. And the kids are excited for family game night, but Alex just does not have the energy. And rather than forcing it, Alex takes a moment to acknowledge the feelings and tells the kids, "I love our game nights, but I'm feeling really tired today. So let's do a shorter game and then we'll do a big one tomorrow." This way, Alex has been honest about the limitations without pushing through exhaustion and risking burnout themselves. Remind yourself that you are allowed to feel tired or unmotivated. You are human. You might say to yourself, "Today I'm doing my best and that's enough," or "It's okay to be human." Practicing self-compassion on these days can help ease the pressure that we are putting on ourselves and on our partners. Think about a recent time when you felt drained or overwhelmed. How did you respond to those feelings? Did you allow yourself grace or did guilt take over? Just taking a moment to reflect can help you approach these moments with more acceptance next time. On those days when you are not feeling up to it, setting realistic expectations can be a lifesaver. Sometimes we feel drained because we're carrying an unrealistic load of shoulds and expectations. And on days like this, it's okay to lower the bar and focus on just getting through the basics. Ask yourself, what absolutely needs to be done today and what can wait? You see, this is a great opportunity to practice good enough parenting. Good enough parenting rather than striving for perfection. Your child doesn't need you to be a superhero every day. They need you to be present, even if that means keeping things simple. So let's say you planned to cook a big dinner, help with a school project, and have story time before bed, but you're running on empty. Instead, simplify dinner, offer support on the project without taking over, and let your child choose a short book, freedom within limits. Remember, being present doesn't always mean doing it all. So I want to share a few ways to make this easier. You can choose activities that don't require much energy, like watching a family movie or doing a simple puzzle together. Delegate where you can, whether that means asking your partner to pitch in or even letting your child handle tasks independently. Another reason why I love Montessori. And also focus on connection over action. Sometimes a cuddle on the couch is more than enough. Think about one task you could let go of or simplify on those tough days. Reducing your own to-do list can make a huge difference in how you feel and how you're able to connect with your child. So when you're feeling exhausted, connecting with your child might feel like a tall order, but meaningful connection doesn't have to take a lot of energy. In fact, sometimes the simplest moments actually create the strongest bonds. So try to focus on low effort activities that don't require much energy, but still foster connection. Think about activities that allow you to relax while still being present with your child. And some ideas are that I mentioned earlier is like watching a favorite show or a movie together. Last night, and I'm still suffering jet lag at the time of this recording, but last night Owen is obsessed with Christmas at the moment. And so he just wants to watch everything Christmas. And the night before we were watching a basketball movie and he was disappointed and wasn't really engaged. But last night, because of my energy levels, we snuggled on the couch and watched a Christmas movie that he chose. And so that connection is more important than just because it's not perfect or super engaging that you don't do it at all. The simple things can be powerful. Another example is coloring or drawing side by side with your child. Coloring can be meditative for you. And so if you're both doing the activity together, that can be a form of connection. Another is reading a book together, with them doing some of the reading if they're able to. And dependent on how you are feeling, maybe that book needs to be short tonight. Another really great way to have a sharing and to create connection is listening to music and sharing your favorite songs with each other. This can be something that in itself changes your state, how your body feels. But it is a way to listen to lyrics, listen to music, and enjoy something together that brings you together. That is connection. And also going for a short walk or sitting outside together and noticing what's happening around you. These things, these activities, they require minimal energy, but still create moments of togetherness, which is ultimately what your child wants. And so reflect and ask yourself, what are a few low effort activities that both you and your child enjoy? And have a few of these in mind so that it can make those low energy days when you can't be bothered parenting, make them feel less daunting. And I want to touch base on talking about the good enough parenting. This approach was introduced by psychologist Donald Winnicott, and it emphasizes that children don't need perfect parents. They need parents who are good enough. They need consistency, care, and love, but they don't need us to be flawless. When you embrace good enough parenting, you are giving yourself permission to be real, even if that means being a little less engaged on tough days. You're showing your child that it's okay to be human, which helps them develop a balanced perspective on effort and self-care. So when they grow up and choose, if they choose to become parents, but even as humans, that they realize that self-care is important and they actually have a balanced perspective beyond perfection. Sometimes you just need a few minutes to yourself to recharge. Even on busy days, taking short breaks can help you reset and approach parenting with a bit more energy. This could be as simple as stepping outside for a few minutes, doing a quick breathing exercise, or enjoying a cup of tea in peace. Breaks don't have to be long or complicated. Even 5 minutes to yourself can make a big difference in how you feel and how you're able to engage with your child. If possible, communicate to your child that you're taking a quick break and that it's something everyone needs sometimes. Imagine you tell your child, I'm going to step outside for a quick break to recharge. I'll be back in 5 minutes. This shows them that taking the time to care for yourself is normal and necessary. So here are a few quick ways on how to recharge. You can try a breathing exercise for a minute. We have a number of those on our website. You can stand by an open window or step outside for fresh air. And you can listen to a favorite song or stretch briefly. Whatever it is for you, take the time. What small break can you add into your day, even when things are busy? Because regularly incorporating these micro breaks can make tough days feel more manageable. Finally, remember to practice it. Finally, remember to practice self-compassion and avoid comparing yourself to others. Social media and societal expectations can make it seem like other parents have endless energy and patience, but remember that everyone has challenging days. They just don't always share them. Self-compassion is about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you'd show a friend. Remind yourself that parenting is hard work, and it's okay to have days when you are not at your best. Comparison can erode your confidence and lead to unnecessary guilt. So focus on your own journey and trust that you are doing your best, and your best is good enough. And so let's say you're scrolling through social media, for instance, and you're seeing pictures of other parents doing fun activities. This is a big one for people who work full-time and school holidays. And you're scrolling and you feel inadequate. Pause and remind yourself, I'm doing my best today and that's enough. These gentle reminders can help you release unnecessary pressure. And this is important for your mental well-being and to avoid burnout. Because coming back from burnout as a parent is so much more impactful and so much harder than if you give yourself the grace now. And I wonder, how often do you find yourself comparing your parenting to others? What affirmations or reminders can you use to practice compassion instead of comparison? And as we wrap up, I want to remind you that parenting doesn't require perfection. Your children need your presence, not a perfectly planned day or an endlessly energetic parent. They just want to be with you. And on those days when you are feeling less motivated, remember that it's okay to be a good enough parent. It's okay to simplify, to take breaks, and to show up as you are. Every parent has moments when they can't be bothered, and that is perfectly normal. Let's make it normal to speak about it by giving yourself the grace, setting realistic expectations, and practicing self-compassion. You're not only caring for yourself, you're teaching your children valuable lessons about resilience, balance, and authenticity. Thank you for joining me on the I Am Education podcast. If you found today's discussion helpful, please share it with other parents who might need a reminder that it's okay to have off days. And remember, parenting is a marathon, not a sprint. Take it one day at a time and know that you're doing an incredible job even on the days when you're running on empty. Until next time, stay kind to yourself and keep embracing the journey. You've got this.